The United States has long been viewed by many people as a major hub for international, maybe national development of some of the most outstanding specialists in any field. And despite all of the hustle, all of the negativity that's going on in media and people saying the American dream is dead, it's no longer existing, the United States is still standing as a major international country that attracts a lot of specialists, that offers people a lot of opportunities for professional growth, for making money, for doing business, for investing into different kind of assets. And in today's video, I will be talking about major and probably most important ways to relocate to the United States permanently, temporarily, to have access to United States market, to United States nationals, to have your business relocate to this country and generate way more profit. Let's begin. So for a lot of people searching for a way to relocate to the United States, whether it be temporarily or permanently, there are two types of routes that you can use, you can apply for. First one is non-immigrant. Meaning that if you apply for this kind of visa, you do not get a permanent residence, meaning green card, but you do get a long-term visa, for example, for 3 years. And you can use this visa after you receive it for example, temporarily living in the United States, for making deals with the United States contractors, for doing business with the United States market, or with any other company that's located in the United States. And having a non-immigrant visa is actually a great advantage because you do not become a national of the country. You do not get subjected to paying taxes on your world income. Because if you're, for example, a holder of a green card, you have to declare your world income and you have to pay taxes on the assets that you have in the United States, including. It depends on whether or not your country or country of your permanent residence has a mutual agreement with the United States to avoid double taxation of its nationals, but the thing is still standing. And if you want to relocate to the United States or have access to the United States market, there is major ways such as, first of all, is O1 visa. O1 visa is for people who have exceptional abilities in any field. For example, you work in business, you are an athlete, you're some kind of IT specialist, you're an arts council, you are, for example, an architect, or so on. It doesn't matter. You can still apply for O1 visa. When you do, what you have to show is that you meet 3 out of 8 criteria presented. For example, you make money from your profession, that's first criteria. Then you work for a major company, or you have your own company, the second criteria. For example, you published a book, you did some great improvement within your company, you offered some solution that actually helped company generate more revenue, or you, for example, designed and implemented some kind of architecture within the company if you're an IT specialist, and this architecture led the company to drastically improving its internal processes. It can also become one of the criteria, for example, major impact, but the major impact criteria has to actually go beyond the company. But still, if you guys want to make sure that your achievements actually meet the criteria of major impact, you can sign up for a free consultation. We do that in an online format and we'll be more than happy to see you. Sign up with a free consultation with the link in the description of this video. So the second way that you can apply for a US visa is L1 visa. This visa is for people who either have their own business. For example, you have a business on a foreign territory, for example, in some European countries, and you want to relocate to the United States, or you want to just expand your company's presence to the United States. In this case, what you do is you apply for L1 visa, you compile a 5-year business plan. Within this business plan, you write that you're looking for this kind of investment, you're doing this kind of expansion, you're hiring this many people, you apply with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. They endorse your application, and then you can apply for a visa. That's actually one of the, I don't want to say easiest, but one of the most transparent ways to get your US visa. And actually any national of any country can now apply for this kind of visa. Then if we move forward, we have E2 visa. It's a small investment visa for people who have citizenship of the country that has a mutual agreement on trade with the United States. And these countries include major European countries as well, Turkey, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and so on. But this agreement does not include Russia or Belarus, so nationals of those countries cannot apply for this visa. All you have to do to get this visa endorsed for you is you have to make a small investment, meaning that you can make an investment as small as $80,000. And if you made this investment, all you have to do is to show that you have intentions of running this business. You are yourself focused on actually improving, developing this business, maybe hiring some people, and so on. But as long as we keep in mind that this visa is actually non-immigrant visa, meaning that after this visa is terminated or this visa expires, you have to go back to the country of your permanent residence or your citizenship. Meaning that when you apply for this visa initially, you have to prove that you don't have immigration intent. So then if we move forward, there is a visa which is very easy. I'm not ashamed to say that, for nationals of Mexico and Canada. For example, if you are a national of those countries and you want to work in the United States and you have an employer and you have all pre-arranged commitments, you have, for example, work contract, you have the job site location also outlined in documents, and what you have to do is you have to cross the border of the United States, and at the border of the United States you have to present to an immigration official all these documentations. And the easiest part is you don't have to apply with the USCIS. All you have to do is to just enter with the port of entry and present all this documentation to an immigration officer, to a border control official. And boom, you have this visa. You can work in the United States for as long as 3 years. You can prolong it, or you can just leave the country and apply for a different kind of visa. What's important about the category for TN, it's for NAFTA agreement, for North Atlantic Free Trade Association. So it's not spreading to any other country except for Mexico and Canada. And if you want to relocate to the United States on a permanent basis, you have EB green cards, employment-based green cards. So that means the green cards that are based on your work activity. For example, EB1A for people with exceptional abilities, with extraordinary abilities, and these green card is granted based on your outstanding achievements. The same is a little bit the same as O1 visa, but what's important is that you have to show that you have a significantly higher level of achievements than many people in your area. That's very important. Then you have EB2 category. EB2 category is for people who can present the evidence that they are of national importance to the United States. For example, you work in a STEM specialty, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. You work in some kind of field that could be very beneficial to the United States, for example, defense industry, for example, some chemical industry, some manufacturing, education, and so on. So there's a lot of spheres, there's a lot of fields that you can apply to. You can apply and you can be endorsed under EB2 category. And then there's EB3 category for people who have an employer in the United States. And if you apply with this employer, the employer first has to go through a process which is called perm certification. This process is with Ministry of Labor of the United States, and your employer has to prove that they tried their best to hire an American worker, but after many attempts, failed attempts, and to no avail, they actually found out by trying that there's no employer, there's no employee in the United States that meets the requirements of this vacancy and the profession to fulfill this position. So they asked the Ministry of Labor to issue a perm certification allowing the employer to hire a foreign employee. So that sounds a little bit complicated, but in reality, this process is very simple. All you have to do is go through the same hiring process as you usually go, but like you have to prove the Ministry of Labor that you actually didn't find anybody suitable. So after you get that perm certification, you apply for EB3 category with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. You get endorsed and you can wait for your visa. If you're outside the United States, you have to wait with the pretty much the same queue as everybody else. There's a number of people endorsed under EB3 category, which exceeds the actual yearly limit of EB3 category, so you have to wait for your visa bulletin to be available. After you get your visa from outside the United States, you can come to the United States, work for the company for a little bit, and then get your permanent residence card. That's it for now. There's a lot of ways, like if we summarize today's video, there's a lot of ways to relocate to the United States, and it's still viewed by many people as one of the major hubs that people like for its opportunities, for its wide markets, for its networking, for its safety as well, for its great education. And when you try to think of some ways to relocate to the United States, you have non-immigrant categories and immigrant categories. Depending on your specific goal, you choose either one of them. So if you have any questions left about your immigration path, you can apply to have a free consultation with our lawyers, immigration lawyers. With the description of this video, you can find a link which would lead you to sign up for a free consultation. Thank you very much and have a great day.